Hi, boys and girls. This is Ms. Kathy. I'm so happy you've joined me today for another story just for you. In the case of the secret code, Willie starts getting strange messages on his computer. Could they really be from God? Chapter 5. Writing on the wall? The mystery is almost solved, Willie thought to himself. He rolled into his bedroom and went straight to his closet. Under his clothes, in the far corner of his closet, he kept a shoebox. In that box, he stored the neat special things his mother was always wanting to throw away. He lifted the lid and looked inside. First, he saw the glittery rock he had found with his dad in Mount Pleasant Park last summer. He lifted a plastic bag and held it up to the light. Inside was the dried tarantula he had found on their trip to Arizona. He dug past a broken marble and 3 plastic spacemen. Finally, he found what he was looking for. Willie pulled a postcard from the bottom of the box. The picture showed a kid skiing on Lake Joyful. He turned it over and looked at the message. Hi, Willie. I'm having a great time. I got sunburned yesterday. Tell the other shoebox kids hi for me. See you soon, Chris. It was addressed to Willie Teller, 6322 Tradewinds Lane, Mill Valley. Willie stared at the address. He looked at the brown package wrapping in his lap. Then he looked at the address again. They're not even close, Willie thought. The handwriting is someone else's. Well, Chris, Willie said, you'll be pleased to know that you're not a suspect anymore. What's that? Willie jumped, but it was only Grandpa. Who are you talking to, Willie? I'm just trying to solve a mystery, Grandpa. Willie smiled up at him and quickly put the postcard back in the shoebox. You're next, he thought. Grandpa, did you ever write Mom and Dad any letters? Willie put the shoebox back in his closet. Letters? I don't think so. I've never been much of a writer. Why? Willie frowned and looked at the floor. How about Christmas cards? Oh, sure, he said cheerily. We send you and your mom and dad a Christmas card every year. You do? Willie's hopes brightened. Maybe Mom has kept one around here. Willie wheeled down the hall toward the garage door and Grandpa trailed behind. Yeah, your grandmother always signs our names and gets them out the day after Thanksgiving, said Grandpa. But knowing your mother, I doubt if she's kept last year's Christmas cards until now. It's June, boy. Willie opened the garage door and looked inside. He realized that Grandpa was right. Mom would have thrown them away months ago. Besides, what use were they if Grandma was the one who signed their names? Willie felt Grandpa grab the wheelchair and spin it around so that Willie faced him. Now, you young pup, are you going to tell me what this is about, or am I going to have to tickle it out of you? He poked at Willie's ribs and tickled him until Willie escaped. It's nothing, Grandpa, Willie said, wheeling away back to the living room. Like I said, I'm trying to solve a mystery. It's that secret code business, isn't it? Grandpa raised one eyebrow. Well, what can I do to help? Willie looked at Grandpa silently. Is it smart to let a suspect help you on your case? He asked himself. One thing he could do wouldn't hurt. I think I can handle it myself, Willie said. He saw Grandpa's shoulders slump in disappointment. That is, Grandpa, if you would do one thing for me. What's that? Willie rolled over to the cabinet in the corner and opened a drawer. Take this pen and paper and write my name and address on it. That's it? Grandpa looked surprised. He shrugged and leaned on the table as he wrote out Willie's name and address. Here you go. He turned and gave the paper to Willie. Willie held up the paper and the brown wrapper. He looked at one and then the other for a long while, then dropped both arms to his lap. You're okay, he said, taking a deep breath. I'm okay? Does that mean I'm not a suspect anymore? Grandpa asked. Willie nodded. I've got one more person to check, though. May I invite Chris and Maria over again? Grandpa chuckled. Only if it helps you solve this case. Do you have any more computer jokes for us? Chris asked as they entered the front door. I'm not in a joking mood, Willie said. This mystery is getting nowhere. He told them about getting the library book in the package. So G.O.D. knew about your library book, said Maria. Great. Now all you have to do is find out whose handwriting is on the package. That's what I've been trying to do, Willie said quietly. He turned to Chris. By the way, your handwriting didn't match. You are no longer a suspect. What about my handwriting? Maria asked. Am I still a suspect? I got a sample of Chris's handwriting from that postcard he sent me when you guys were on vacation. I didn't have a sample of yours. So my sister could still be the mystery person, Chris said. How scary. Maria stuck her tongue out. I'll take you off my suspect list if you can pass 2 tests, Maria, Willie said, pulling out a sheet of paper and a pen. You want me to write your name and address, she said matter-of-factly. She leaned over the table and scribbled for a long moment. There. Satisfied? She handed the paper back to Willie. In response, Willie took the brown package and held it up next to the paper, just as he had done with Grandpa's handwriting. He was silent for a long moment. Chris and Maria watched him until they couldn't stand it any longer. "Well," Maria finally said. Close, but no." Willie looked over at Maria. "You make funny R's." Chris laughed. "That's not the only thing funny about her." "One more question for the two of you," Willie said, serious again. "Dee Dee saw me at the library and said that you guys have a modem on your computer." Chris and Maria looked at each other. "Yeah, so?" "Why didn't you tell me about it before this?" "You didn't ask," Chris said. "What do you mean?" Willie said. "It doesn't work, Willie. My dad disconnected it about 6 months ago," Maria said. "He was afraid of getting computer viruses." "Computer what?" Willie asked. "You know, like diseases," Chris said. "Computers don't get diseases. Even I know that, Chris," Willie said. "Well, they're not really diseases," explained Maria. "They're just computer programs weird people write that mess up your computer. You can pick them up from other computers." "Like a cold," Chris added. "Since our modem didn't work, we didn't want to spoil your fun with your modem, so we didn't say anything." "So are we both suspects, or what?" Chris asked. "As far as I can tell at this point, you're not," Willie said. "What do we do now?" "We could go over to the post office. We could check out everyone's handwriting as they send out their mail," Maria suggested. "I don't think the post office will let us hang around there," Willie said. "Well, how about the grocery store? We could look over people's shoulders as they write their checks," Chris offered. "Besides, I'm hungry." "I don't think anyone will be writing checks with my name on them," Willie said. "Why don't I make us some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? We can think while we take a break." Willie rolled into the kitchen while Maria and Chris waited in the living room. Maria spotted the computer and switched it on. "When was the last time you checked for messages?" she asked Willie in the other room. "Last night." "Nothing." Maria walked into the kitchen. "Well, you should have checked today. There's one there now, and it's a whopper."
The story you have heard today is a chapter of The Shoebox Kids, Book 2, The Case of the Secret Code, written by Glenn Robinson, edited and created by Jerry D. Thomas, and used with permission from the Pacific Press Publishing Association. If you're interested in any other books published by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, please visit AdventistBookCenter.com or call 1-800-765-6955.
This podcast is a production of the Carolina Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.